Hey guys, Ricardo here and welcome to another Blog Tech Tips. Today I'll be showing you to access your permission manager. And of course, your permission manager involves your device. This is a S26 Ultra, applies to any Samsung device. So permission manager allows you to control everything on your device. That includes stuff such as your your camera, your microphone, your location services, and all the device features. So you can actually, in one place, manage what has access to your phone's camera, your phone's microphone, your phone's basically all the important settings. These are important as apps can access these. You may not want, for example, an unknown app to be accessing your camera, especially if you've installed an app. You do not want, for example, certain apps to be accessing your camera, such as your web browser. If you're doing meetings like Zoom meetings, Zoom can access your camera, which is fine. However, you don't want it to access your camera in case it's an app that should never have access to the camera, so you can manage your permissions. All right, so let's get straight into it. So you're going to go into your settings. Once you're in the settings, you're going to go to security and privacy. And of course, you're going to search through here. There's a bunch of options. And what you want to do from here, guys, is you look for the option that's related to what I just showed you earlier. All right, so from here, guys, you need to go deeper. So you go to go deeper, so go down all the way to the end and go to more privacy settings. And there should be an option around here that says permission manager. So it says permission manager right here. So you're gonna go ahead and top. There you go. So it's buried deep within the settings. What I'm gonna do here, guys, is let's say, for example, it does it very well in that it shows your calendar. For example, that's very important as you have your plans in there. It shows your call logs, your camera contacts, health, fitness, location, microphone, music, nearby devices. You get the idea. Especially like microphone and your camera. Let's focus on the main ones. For example, my camera I showed here. It shows that I have a total of 39 apps. It shows here that, for example, it says no apps are allowed. Allowed all. So it shows your camera apps with permission can take pictures and record videos. So that helps to explain what they can do. And it says allowed all the time. So I have no apps allowed all the time. And I'll explain. And these are the categories. It says allow only while in use. So Amazon can access my camera, but only while I am using the app. So for example, Amazon shopping, if you go here, you'll see the options and it says only while using the app. Or if you want to be more secure, you can always ask every time. So every time it needs to access the camera, you can tell it to ask or don't allow. Don't allow means you block it totally. All right, so now you're gonna go through, for example, your camera, and you're gonna check which apps are here. For example, I'll show you this here. So Amazon does use your camera sometimes. For example, if you need to scan a product to find a matching product, you might need it to scan a matching product. So it does need some time. But just in case you do not like what it says, you can say ask every time, especially if you don't use it a lot. So I'm going to change that. It says camera. Of course, camera needs to access your camera. Expert is another camera feature. Gmail doesn't need to access my camera. So I'm going to say ask every time that it needs it. You get the idea. So you can say YouTube. YouTube does record video, so you can go through it, categorize them. So ask every time. These apps are not allowed. So I have a whole bunch that I have told it's not allowed. So I block all of the other apps, especially if they don't need a camera. And for most, I can just ask them to use, except for certain key apps that definitely need the camera, such as the camera does need access to the camera. So you get the idea. So do that. I'll show you one last one. So permission manager, and we're going to use location. And I'm going to try to find one with less physical activity. All right, this one is less. So air command needs access to my physical activity because that's how it works. So that's fine. So you can set that to allow. Samsung Health, which makes sense, allow. But of course, map doesn't need to know my physical activity. So I'll say not allowed. And SmartThings does not need to know my physical activity. Now, the fun thing is you can customize all of those. If there's a particular app you made a mistake for, you'll notice it will start asking, and then you can figure out why it's asking. It should not ask just for asking sake. It should only ask, especially if you're using a feature. So for example, if I launch an app, I never thought of it using the camera, but it does. You will kind of figure it out quickly. It will ask and you can then grant it permission within that app. But you get the idea. So that's a way to boost your security, and I hope that was useful. See you next time, guys. Bye.